guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm actually doing a video today that was requested by a friend of mine, Janessa. If you're watching, I know you are, hi. So basically I was talking about my favorite books earlier this year, and she commented saying you should do a video on how you got into reading. It's a goal of mine and I'd like to know how you prepared to try and meet your goal. Did you have a list you made? Did you do any research on any of your books, or did you legit do a blind read? Are you drawn to a certain genre, etc.? So I would love to talk about all of those things. As I mentioned in my book video, I was very much not a reader. I think I started last year in January, maybe, is when I actually decided to pick up a book and just read it. So honestly, what really inspired me to try to start reading again was TikTok. There's a hashtag called book talk, and actually if you go to the bookstore they have book talk section, so it's all the stuff that's been talked about on TikTok about books. And I really liked in TikTok how someone would be like, oh my god, you'll never guess what happened, this and this happened, and then crazy whatever blah blah blah, and they're like, if you want to know more about what happened, read this book. And then they show you the book and explain obviously you know what it kind of is about. So it was kind of cool, and I was like, ooh, that sounds fun to read. So TikTok is definitely what influenced me to actually try and start reading. I also have family members that are really big into reading, and I also had friends that would also read and talk about what they were reading. And when I shared that I was gonna start reading, a lot of people were like, oh my god, you're gonna love it, let me know, because it was a book I guess that was really popular. They were like, let me know what you think. So it was always cool to have somebody to chat to about what you're reading, especially if it's somebody that you know in person. That makes it a lot better, I don't know. But that definitely helped me, because I was like, okay, I gotta finish it and then I gotta let them know what I thought. And then when I first started reading, I really don't know why I picked that book. I think I went to the bookstore specifically looking for one book of Colleen Hoover's, which was, I believe it starts with us. I think that's what I was looking for, and then they didn't have it at the bookstore because it was so popular and sold out that I picked another one of her books, and I started with Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and that was the first book. So Bedroom Lights On. And that was the first book that I decided to pick up and read, and then I fell in love with it. Yeah, it was such an easy read. It took me a few days to read, and at first I was let me hold myself accountable by saying that I'm gonna read 10 pages a day, and I was like, okay, I can definitely do that. That's so attainable. So I started off that way, and then I just flew through the book because I loved it so much. So yeah, like I was saying, I found Colleen Hoover. Personally, I like her books because they are fast reads, and they are just I don't know, super unexpected. And I do not go into books, I try not to go into books knowing what they're really about. I'm very much just go in blind. That's very much how I prefer to read, but I'm sure that's not exactly how it works for other people. I actually do have a few books that I already know the premise, and that are on my list of stuff that I want to read. So it's it depends. I haven't read that many books, to be honest. Last year I read, I think 17. I said 16 in my thing, but I think I read 17 last year. And so I don't know, it depends. I'm very new into reading still, and I'm super excited for all the books that I have planned to read this year. Yeah, find an author that you like and that you vibe with, and then keep reading a lot of their stuff. Another thing is I tried a bunch of different genres, sorta, kinda. Personally, I like romance and thrillers and memoirs. So those are my favorite genres so far. There's a lot of different types, obviously. I'm going to be trying some new genres this year to see if I like them. For me, I try to find people that I relate to and see what kind of genres they like. So this year my cousin and mother-in-law recommended for me to read YA and fantasy, or YA fantasy, I don't know, but I'm gonna try both genres this year and I'm excited about it. There's this series that I hear so much about, and especially from them, I don't want to say it wrong, but I know the short name for it is ACOTAR, so I'm excited to try that out. It's a series of, I don't even know, 5 books, I think. I might be lying, but I genuinely don't know anything about it. I just know that they're really good, so Yeah, trying out a bunch of different genres. Another thing that I absolutely love is Goodreads. So Goodreads is an app where you can track your books, you can rate your books, you can create a to be read list, you can keep track of everything that you've read, and then it also, like, while you're reading, you'll say whatever book you're reading, you'll put the page number that you're on, and then it'll tell you the percentage of how far you're into that book, which is really, really helpful, and I love that. So you can like keep track of what you're currently reading. If you want to add me on Goodreads, I'll have a link down below. But I love having it because if there's ever somebody talking about a book or just like raving about a book that they had read, I'm like, okay, let me write it down, add it to my Goodreads, and then it'll be in my want to read little list. So it's so nice. Love it so much. Then you can add friends. So it's basically like a reading social media, which is like amazing. You can add your friends, you can see what they're reading, you can see their progress, you can see their reviews. So it's really nice if you have a friend that also has a similar reading taste as you. You can follow them and then read what they read, or read like reviews on something that you have already read. So I love it. It's so nice. And I also just recently learned that you can be in groups. I guess they have groups that you can add yourself onto. So I just added myself to Book Talk, which is a group on there. But yeah, I'm sure there's so many. I don't really know how to search them, so I have to look into that a little bit more. But Goodreads, love it so much. If you don't have it, download it. There is the option for audiobooks as well. I personally don't really like audiobooks unless it's a book that I really just can't stick to. If it's a book that I really can't stick to, I will listen to the audiobook while I'm reading it. But it's really, it goes in one ear and out the other. Like, I cannot grip the audiobook for some reason. So I prefer not to listen to audiobooks. I prefer to just read it. It is a good option for people that are busy, or say for example you're driving somewhere and you want to listen to a book rather than music. Like, I'm sure it's a great option. And then a lot of people buy the audiobook and the regular book and then they read them at the same time. Like I said, if it's something that I can't follow, like if I can't get into it, I'll just play the audiobook on like 2 times speed, and then I'll get through that book real quick, because I don't like not finishing a book. That's something that, like, I don't know. And I can only read one book at a time currently. We'll see how that changes. But yeah, some people purposely do it that way so they can hear it and read along. So I feel like, I mean, it's a great option for a lot of people, but I just personally can't. I can't retain it like at all. I get distracted, so I don't know. Another thing that I absolutely love is my Kindle. I should have it with me. I should have it right here. It's literally, I'm looking at it right there. But the Kindle is great if you are really getting into reading, and if you find yourself like really sticking to it. I really recommend a Kindle. It is super small, it's great for on the go, and you can basically get any book that you're reading on your Kindle. There's this thing also called Kindle Unlimited, and I believe they offer like for free for a few months and then discounted, or I don't know. Kindle Unlimited has an unlimited amount of books that you can check out basically, but you keep it for however long you want, and then you can delete it from your device. So it is a device and you download books, but once you download them, you don't need Wi-Fi. You do need Wi-Fi to download those books, but it's great. And at the bottom, it has like a little progress bar. It'll tell you how many minutes you have left based on how fast you read. Or if you want it to be set to the percentage, you can put that too, or the page number, whatever you want it to be. You can make the text bigger, you make the text smaller, so it's really nice. And then I also just learned recently that you can download the Libby app. In the Libby app, if you have a library card, you can check out books, and then from what I understand, you can download them to your Kindle, but I have not tried that yet. I can't find my library card, and I tried to do one online today and I couldn't. It says that I already have one, but I don't know. I had to figure that out. So that's something that I'm going to be working on, but you can apparently download books from Libby onto your Kindle, which is nice. And then Libby is free. Kindle Unlimited, like I said, you do have to pay for after a certain amount of time. And then something that I really like is book podcasts or anything related to your book. Basically, if you search your book that you're reading into the podcast section, you will likely find a podcast of somebody that has already talked about the book, especially if it's a popular book. I know of one called The Redheads just because I listened to another podcast that talks about it a lot, but it's really cool to like hear other people's perspectives if you don't have somebody that is in your life that has also read the book. And it's, I don't know, it's just really cool to like hear the perspective of different people, just because some people love books and some people hate the same one. So it's like everybody obviously has different opinions, and it's like really cool to see what people think. So like I mentioned, there's podcasts. You can also find YouTube videos and Facebook groups as well. There is a Colleen Hoover Facebook group that I am a part of. It's just really cool to like have, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. And then one other thing that I want to mention is that I personally do like to read in spurts. So I'll read like a chapter, sorry, fish is over here. I'll read like a chapter or two, and I'll take a second. I'll play a little like round of games on my phone, and then I'll go back to my book. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I do. If it's a book that I'm like sucked into, then I obviously don't do that. But sometimes I just need like a quick little break from reading, so that is something that I do. Let me make sure that I answered all your questions. But after this, I will show you what I am currently reading. Oh my god, my battery's dying. Okay, yeah, I answered your question. So currently I am reading The Spanish Love Deception. I showed this in a book haul, and I talked about it in, did I talk about, yeah, I talked about it in my book review for last year. But I am currently this way through. I can't tell you what the percentage is. Actually, I can if I look on my Goodreads. Hold on. So I'm currently 13% through with this book. So this is what I'm currently reading. I really like the texture of this book. I feel like it's different than a lot of books. It's probably weird to say, but anyway, that is everything that I have to say about how I got into reading after not reading for like probably 15 years. I'm so happy that I got into it. It's so fulfilling, and I just have so many books that I'm like looking forward to reading. And I don't know, now if I can get this library card thing working and situated, I will have so many more books. So the goal for this year is 24 books. That's 2 books a month. 2 books a month. So that is the goal, and you can set a reading goal on Goodreads, which is nice, so it'll keep track of it for you. But anyways, thank you guys for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you next time.